out of the gates and ready to go. Welcome into this live edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. So glad to have you with us. Coming up on today's show, we'll go over the latest news and rumors for your Kansas City Chiefs as we're talking about potential trades for Cooper Kupp and Demarcus Robinson. Also, we'll go over a list of replacement options for Jaylen Watson, who is likely done for the rest of the season. We got an injury update to get to on him that we'll talk about in just a little while from right now. We'll also preview the Chiefs matchup with the Las Vegas Raiders, go over my keys to victory, the injury report, give you my prediction as well. And then before we wrap up, we'll do a Q&A mailbag. Use hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to hashtag Chiefs, other show. Hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat to get on the mailbag portion of today's program. As you guys file in, shout out your city. We'll shout you out as we get this show off and rolling here on this fine Tuesday afternoon. I see Tony is already in the chat saying, hi, Tyler, checking in from El Paso. Good to see you, Tony. Hopefully things are good at Wally World for you. I got Philip in Knoxville, Tennessee. I got Sports Jet in Kansas City. Keith is asking, anything new on Cooper Kupp? Yes, we will tell you about it coming up in just a little while from right now. William is in Piedmont, Missouri. Good to see you. I got David in Ottawa, Canada. Says, cheers, Tyler. Cheers to you. Got some nice H2O on hand here. Let's see. We got Tim in Wichita. I got Paul checking in from Tongi. Paul, good to see you. Always a pleasure anytime you're in the chat, my friend. I know that you're here quite a bit, and always appreciate that. Got Alan checking in from Israel, from Tel Aviv. I hear there's some activity going on there. I got Anthony in Honolulu. Ty Man the Buckeye, as always, in the house from Ohio. I got Agent Water in Aiken. I got Hector in Phoenix. Good to see everybody here in the chat. How many Chiefs coaches all time can you name? Now, I'm talking not just head coaches, but we can throw in assistant coaches and coordinators. How many coaches can you come up with? Who comes to mind? I want to see in your one individual comment who can come up with the most coaches. I could come up with quite a bit myself, but I don't want to spoil a thing for the Chiefs Kingdom out there. So I want to put the challenge out there to you. How many coaches can you name? We will see who can get the most in the chat and get this thing going. Tori says 6. Where are the names, Tori? I mean, I see the number 6, but how many can you come up with? I need to see the names of the coaches that you can come up with. Let's see if you can back up the 6 that you throw out there. Joe C. bringing up Cooper Kupp and his injuries. We'll talk about Cooper Kupp coming up later. It is our poll question, by the way. Should the Chiefs trade for Cooper Kupp? 83% of you saying yes. 17% saying no. I got Bruce checking in from Prattville, Alabama. Good to see you, Bruce. Let's see. Tony can name 1. All right. Well, that's better than okay, he's naming 1 at a time. He's got 2 so far. So Tony's got the most at this point. Let's see. Who can come up with the most Chiefs coaches all time? Tony's got the most with 2. I know we can do a lot better than 2. I want to see. There we go. Anthony's got a couple. He's named Hank Stram and Romeo Crennel and Todd Haley. Outside of Hank Stram, that's a brutal couple of names there, Romeo Crennel and Todd Haley. I would like to forget the Romeo Crennel and Todd Haley eras if I could. Hector's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, Hector's got the number to beat. Nick's got Andy Reid. Dick Vermeil. I love Dick Vermeil. What a guy. Dick Vermeil. That's taking me back to my childhood, to some fun years. Marv Levy and Hank Stram, so 4 for Nick. I got Williams got 3 with Dungy, Vermeil, Reed, and Marty. So actually 4 there for William there. Let's see. Anthony's got another. Tony Dungy. Okay. So far the most I've seen is 4. I know we can do better than 4. Let's see who can come up with the most. Big Tex is hanging out here with me today, as always. You know him. You love him.
Oh, yeah.
He's a part of our Tuesday live shows. You hear him from time to time at our watch parties as well. He's holding things down on the 1s and 2s. Tex,
What's
good
up,
to
my
hear
man?
from you.
Yes, sir. Let me
Happy
get on
Tuesday
screen.
to you.
Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday.
Here is the challenge. We got 91 people in here already, but we know we can do more than that. And so we want to wake up the algorithm a bit to get this show out to as many people as possible. So we need you all to spam C. I want to see as many C's as we can over this next minute and see who's going to be the early favorite to be MVP on today's show. Tex is going to shout out all the C's. Let's get this thing going. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Let's go. Anthony, Terrence, Anthony, Alan, I'm not sure. Tony, Hector, Bryson.
Tony saying he got his workout in today, Tex.
Let's ride, Tony. Good stuff. Anthony, Tony, Hector, Tony, Alan, Philip, Anthony, Tony, Joe, Hector, Keith, Quentin, Tony, Terrence, Anthony, William, Hector, Tony, Philip, Hector, William, Anthony, Tony, Jeremy, Philip, William, David, Tony, Hector, Bryson, Terrence, Anthony, William, Tony, Hector, David, Tony, Terrence, Hector, William, Jeremiah, Blue, Tony, William, Blue, David, Hector, Blue, Anthony, Keith, Hector, Tony, Bryson, Hector, Tony, Anthony, Jeremy, Bryson, Hector, Tony,
20
Bryson,
seconds left.
Keep going.
Finish strong.
David, Tony, William, Hector, Jeremy, Bryson, Anthony, Philip, Tony, Hector, Bryson, Philip,
10
Michael,
seconds.
Bryson, Hector, Tony, Anthony, Bryson, Hector, David, Keith, Philip, Jeremiah, Blue, Tony, Blue, David, Philip, Jeremiah, Blue, Anthony, Philip, Jeremiah, Hector.
There we go.
Good stuff.
I think I saw a lot from Joe and Tony.
Oh, yeah.
And Bryson.
They're
I think
on top of
Bryson
their
may have
stuff.
had the most in there.
Oh, yeah.
Good work, everybody. Get in the chat and spamming those C's there, and our audience grew quite a bit. We're already at 30 likes and 90 people watching. I need to get to 40. That's all I'm asking for. I need 10 more likes, and I'll crack open my first cold drink of the afternoon as I have a Happy Dad hard seltzer from Death Row Records. The Nelk Boys were, they're big Happy Dad guys. I saw them have a big interview the other day. And if we get to 40 likes, then we will get today's show started. Alan says, did we wake the algorithm? I think we did. So, and there we are already at 40 likes. Can we make it 50? Can we run up the score a little bit? Can I get 7 more? Can I get 7 more likes as I crack open this drink? And I see Tony liked the video. Much appreciated. When you like the video, let me know, and I'll shout out everybody that's liked the video. I believe Joe C. liked the video. Is that Joe Castiglione, the Oklahoma athletic director? Because if it is, I have a bone to pick with you right now. Brent Venables not doing so hot in Norman these days. Samuel liked the video. Thank you for that. Hector liked it. Dante liked it. And David says, already liked the video, buddy. Much appreciated. All right, here's what's coming up on today's show. We'll go over the latest news and rumors in your Kansas City Chiefs. We'll also talk about replacements for Jaylen Watson. We'll go over that full list. Also going to preview the Chiefs matchup with Dallas. And then we'll do a Q&A rumors mailbag. I got to say, Tex, I'll preface this before we get to our game preview later. When it comes to the Raiders, I feel like this is going to be an easy game and everything. The Chiefs should have their way. But honestly, I know that a lot of Chiefs fans don't feel the same way. I actually don't like that the Raiders are not competitive, that they're not a very good football team, because I feel like the NFL is better when the Raiders are a good team, and this rivalry with the Raiders is so much more fascinating and so much more fun when the Raiders are competitive. I feel like it's arguably the best rivalry in the NFL, but the Raiders got to hold their own and do their part. I mean, when this is and I've been there before, when this has been like a primetime game, when both teams are good, when they're relevant, it's exciting. It's must-see. Now, this just feels like any other game. Like, the Chiefs should blow out the Raiders on paper. So I wish, Tex, and like I said, I know people disagree with me on this.
Yeah.
I wish the Raiders were more competitive to make this rivalry more fun.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you have to wonder, bringing in someone like Tom Brady, who is always known for the most part excellence in winning in terms of culture as a player, maybe that'll transform their locker room and organization in a positive way. But, man, you're right. To use a sports analogy, for example, you're an Oklahoma guy, I'm a Texas guy. When both teams are good in that rivalry, it makes that rivalry better because you respect both teams for being
Iron
good.
sharpens iron.
Exactly. And there ain't no iron sharpening iron.
There ain't no iron in Las Vegas.
It's
right
just
now.
the Chiefs beating up on the Raiders when they're down. That's all it is right now.
It's what do they say there with the Raiders? Something about excellence that they pride themselves in. Commitment to excellence. That's what it is. Commitment to excellence, my ass, with the Las Vegas Raiders, how that organization's run right now. Super Chat menu real quick. If you would like to get involved in today's show and support the work we're doing, bringing you free Kansas City Chiefs coverage, then feel free to send us a Super Chat. $ sign next to the chat box if you'd like to contribute. First time Super Chatters get the KC chant. $5 Super Chat, you'll get the Mahomes song. $10 Super Chat, we'll take down some shots. $20 Super Chat, we'll get Bean Boozled with the spicy jelly beans. $50 Super Chat, we will do a beer bong. And I'll say this. You guys know how it works. When we drink, we score. We drink, we win. If you want the Chiefs to get a good start against the Raiders on Sunday, we got to get a head start on things and get to drinking right away here on this Tuesday. Set the tone early. And if you send in a Super Chat, then your questions will get answered first in our mailbag segment that we'll be bringing you coming up later on in the show. Let's go ahead and get started with our news and rumors on your Kansas City Chiefs, as we'll be talking Cooper Kupp and Demarcus Robinson and the possibility of bringing those guys to Kansas City. Let's get to it right now as we begin this live edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report right now. You're watching the Kansas City Chiefs Report, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. Loaded show ahead as we are talking some new wide receiver trade rumors. We got the latest to get to on Cooper Kupp and the possibility of bringing him to Kansas City. Speaking of Rams wide receivers, what about D-Rob, Demarcus Robinson? Could he make a return to KC? We will touch on both of those possibilities in just a matter of moments. Before we do, you guys know I'm a Kansas guy. I proudly attended the University of Kansas, Rock Chalk, spent a lot of time in Lawrence. And so I want to go to the other side of the state line of the Chiefs Kingdom today. If you're a Chiefs fan from the state of Kansas, like the video. If you're not, if you're from somewhere else like Missouri or Nebraska or Oklahoma or anywhere out there, comment and let me know in the comment section where you are watching from. We just want to get an idea, gauge the audience a bit, where you are watching today's show from. Let us know, and we'll get going here on today's episode of the Chiefs Report. Let's begin with Cooper Kupp. The Athletics NFL insider Diana Rossini gave an update on Tuesday about a potential trade for Rams wide receiver Cooper Kupp, as it would appear that the Rams are actively shopping Cooper Kupp. And they have a game coming up on Thursday, so it's pretty interesting that all these rumors are going around with a game coming up in just a couple days from now. And the question was posed to Rossini from Stu Gatz on the Dan Lepetard show. He asked straight up, Cooper Kupp to Kansas City, is there a chance? And this is what Rossini's response was. If the Rams are willing to take on the salary I've heard they're willing to do, they are definitely open to trading Cooper Kupp, so we'll see if they'll be able to get it done. So that's the first half of it. They are willing. Now the Kansas City portion. This is the not-so-good part. I just don't think Kansas City even has enough money. Even if the Rams were to take on some of that salary, that's been the problem, and the reason why they haven't been able to go after a Devontae Adams, a Amari Cooper, like what we've seen other teams being aggressive. It would take some maneuvering on the part of the Kansas City Chiefs to make a trade for Cooper Kupp or any other big-time player for that matter. It's not possible, but it's unlikely, as the Chiefs would have to probably hand out some more extensions to move around some cash, and then obviously you had to open up a roster spot before you could make a trade for Cooper Kupp. So there's a few things that need to be done first before the Chiefs could even potentially pull that off. The other issue when it comes to Cooper Kupp, among all the wide receiver trade targets that are out there, with Kupp specifically, he has a major health concern. what do we tell you all the time here, folks? The best availability is availability. And Cooper Kupp, in the last 3 seasons, has played a grand total of just 23 games. That's it for Cooper Kupp. He has struggled to stay healthy for the last few seasons. And as you get older, these things don't tend to get better. And the Chiefs, of course, already losing guys to injury. Are you going to bring in an injury-prone player? Well, let's tell you more about Cooper Kupp. A Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP there a few years ago. And 2021 was by far his best season, as he was the NFL's Offensive Player of the Year, first-team All-Pro, won the Triple Crown for leading the league in receptions, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns. 2021 was a fantastic season, a career year for Cooper Kupp, but that's it. If you were to put Cooper Kupp's career in a nutshell, he's had a solid career, but he's really only had one great season. And as time marches on, that one great season feels more and more like an anomaly at this point with Cooper Kupp. You look at these statistics since that great 2021 season. He played in 9 games in 2022, had over 800 yards and 6 touchdowns. 2023, he played in more games than he played in 2022, but his numbers were worse than they were in 2022. Less catches, less yards, less touchdowns. And so far this season, he's only played in 2 games with 18 catches for 187 yards and a touchdown. The reports from Rossini were that the Rams want a second-round pick. Let's be honest, when you look at the receiver market, if Devontae Adams was going for a third and Stephon Diggs was going for the equivalent of a third, no one is giving up a second-round pick for Cooper Kupp. In fact, I don't think anyone's given up a third-round pick for Cooper Kupp either. I think you're talking about a 4th-round pick is what it would take to bring in Cooper Kupp and then also get some help on the salary front and all that. So let's ask you, should the Chiefs trade for Cooper Kupp? You got 2 options here on our pinned comment today. Type T for trade, P for pass. Weigh in. Let us know what you think. Today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the place to go for daily fantasy made easy. Here's how it works. Choose 2 or more players on any given category. Get the choice of more or less, whether you're talking fantasy points with football, rebounds with basketball, goals with hockey, all sorts of different categories to choose from with Prize Picks. And it's real simple with Prize Picks. You put $5 down, they will give you $50 to spend for free. You don't even have to win the money to cash in on Prize Picks. Just go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. For the Tuesday night NBA opener, I went with Anthony Edwards to have more than half a point. That's easy. Also went with Karl Anthony Towns to have less than 21.5 points. If that hit, that would go from $20 to $60 on Prize Picks. And you can play along with me. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Prize Picks, proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. From one Rams wide receiver to another, let's talk about Demarcus Robinson now. ESPN's Adam Schefter went on the Pat McAfee show at ESPN, and he discussed the possibility of Demarcus Robinson making a return to Kansas City. And according to Schefter, he said, which backs up what Rossini was talking about earlier, that this Chiefs team is unlikely to make a splashy move at this point in time, that they are not engaged in the discussions for the big-name receivers. But a guy like Demarcus Robinson could be more so what they're looking for. Schefter saying this on the Pat McAfee show. I think that the Chiefs are going to be checking around and asking for wide receivers. I wouldn't be surprised if they made a move. I don't know if it's going to be a big, splashy move. So you're saying there's a chance that this is possible, but not likely something major. The good news is for the Kansas City Chiefs, if they were to go after D-Rob, this could still move the needle, though, with the Chiefs situation, as shorthanded as they are at receiver. You know about Rashee Rice. You know about Hollywood Brown. And now Juju's banged up, too. Schefter adding this on the McAfee show, saying, I think in the perfect world, if someone like Demarcus Robinson that knows the system and knows the quarterback, that would fit there. the Chiefs could use a little bit of help at the wide receiver position. This is similar to when we talked about the idea of bringing in MVS. Now, MVS, of course, is off the market now. He's in New Orleans. But it's what we've heard from Andy Reid and from Patrick Mahomes of bringing in guys they're familiar with and guys they are comfortable with that have already played in this system. And we saw it earlier this year with the additions they made with Kareem Hunt and with Juju Smith-Schuster and how big of an impact those guys made despite being cheap additions that didn't cost you hardly anything at all. Two guys that most teams had kind of left for dead, they made a very big impact on this Chiefs team. And that would be the thought with D-Rob, if you were to bring him back, that, hey, although most teams don't value him a whole lot, the Chiefs could see some value in him with his previous experience and be ready to roll in this Chiefs offense. We'll talk more about D-Rob in just a moment, but I want to ask you guys, your chance to be Brett Veach, should the Chiefs bring back Demarcus Robinson? Type Y for yes, in for no. Let us know in the comment section below. The Chiefs Report is bringing you nonstop Chiefs coverage you won't find anywhere else as we have our daily news and rumors. We're doing live shows every single Tuesday afternoon, watch parties on game days, breaking news, Q&A mailbags, and more. It's all right here in one place. If you love the Kansas City Chiefs, well, you've come to the right place. Subscribe now for free. Doesn't cost you a thing. We are closing in our next milestone of 60,000 subscribers, but we need your help to get there. Subscribe now, youtube.com/ChiefsTV. More on D-Rob. Began his career in Kansas City, then had a brief stint with the Raiders where he was cut before training camp, then went to the Baltimore Ravens, and the last couple of seasons he has been with the Los Angeles Rams. Did win a Super Bowl in his time with the Kansas City Chiefs and had a decent impact on the Chiefs Super Bowl team that first go round when they beat the 49ers. And you look at these statistics for Demarcus Robinson, you can see that 2021 was not a great year for him, his last year in Kansas City. Then after being caught by the Raiders, he goes to the Ravens as they were very shorthanded, very similar situation to what the Chiefs are in right now. And he had a decent year with over 450 yards. Then the last couple of seasons with the Rams have gone just meh. I'll say this, though. He's got better numbers than Cooper Kupp does right now. And he's played in every game, unlike Cooper Kupp to this point. And when we talk about the fit of what guys can do in Kansas City, how Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid elevate the play of the players around him, remember, his best years were right here with Kansas City Chiefs. You go back to 2019. He accounted for 32 catches, 449 yards, averaged 14 yards of reception, and had 4 touchdowns in that 2019 campaign. And I remember times, folks, that 2019 season when I was in the Chiefs locker room and I'd be interviewing players post-game, and there was a couple times where me and the rest of the media members, we were looking at ourselves like, D-Rob? D-Rob went off today? And it was shocking. But he's got that capability. He can get that job done. He can come through, and he's done that before like he has in the past with the Kansas City Chiefs. The trade idea, I don't think you'd have to give up much. I think you're looking at it late day 3 pick, and I think it could be a 2026 6th-round pick, not even a pick from next year potentially, to bring in Demarcus Robinson. Who is a wide receiver the Chiefs should add? Who comes to mind that you would like to see before the trade deadline? Weigh in. Give us a name in that comment section below. If you enjoyed today's show, you already know what to do. Like the video. We certainly would appreciate it. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time here on the Chiefs Report. All right. That is one segment down. And next segment, we will talk Jaylen Watson replacements. But we want to ask you guys, should the Chiefs trade for Cooper Kupp? As Big Tex rejoins me right now. So, Big Tex, you heard me lay out the case when it comes to Cooper Kupp.
Yep.
We know he's older. He's got the injury history. I would put it this way. I wouldn't say no, but I'm not going to lose sleep over if they don't trade for Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same page with you there. I feel like It'd be cool if they did it, but I don't think it's going to make or break their season if they trade for Cooper Kupp. I think people have still a little bit too much recency bias, kind of like you talked about during the List for Cat for that 2021 Super Bowl MVP season.
Right.
Like, yeah, he almost had 2,000 yards. But
that was a great year.
It was a great year, but he hasn't eclipsed 1,000 yards once since then. So he's just gone on a downhill trajectory, and it's just going to continue to do that with his health and age, continuing to decline. So.
And I'll say this, like, we're going to talk wide receiver rumors until we get an answer one way or the other. But the silver lining, if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, as we go to the Super Chat menu, the silver lining is that the Chiefs have a winning recipe. Even if they don't get the receiver help they're looking for, they run the football well and they play great defense. And that's always going to be championship DNA right there. And even if they don't find what they're looking for, as long as those two things continue, this Chiefs team's still going to be in good shape. And not to mention they have 15 under center too, so that helps a little bit as well. Super Chat menu, if you'd like to take part in today's show. Still waiting to see who's going to send the first Super Chat of the day. And I'm going to tell you this right now. The first Super Chat that comes in could be $1, could be $50. We're going to go crazy for the first Super Chat that comes in. I don't want to go the entirety of today's show without getting at least one Super Chat. Can we get at least one today? First time Super Chatters to get the KC chant. $5 Super Chat, we'll sing the Mahomes song. $10 Super Chat, we'll take some shots. $20 Super Chat, we'll get Bean Boozled. $50 Super Chat, we'll get out the beer bong in all its glory. That's what is on the menu for today. Up next, let's talk replacements for Jaylen Watson as his season is likely over. We'll update you on his situation and also talk about players that could step in to his role coming up in just a little while from right now. That's what's ahead. We'll do our game preview after that. Then we'll do our mailbag. Hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat. You all right, Tex? All right. I did not inhale. He did inhale. All right. Without further ado, let's get started and talk Jaylen Watson replacements. That begins right now. You're watching the Kansas City Chiefs Report, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. We got some bad news on the Jaylen Watson front, as his ankle injury that he suffered in the win against the San Francisco 49ers could be season-ending. More on that in a moment. On today's show, we're going to break down potential replacement options. Who could the Chiefs turn to at the corner position? We'll discuss that, give you our full list of potential trade and free agent options in just a matter of moments. Let's start with this update from ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, who said the following on Tuesday morning. Chiefs defensive back Jaylen Watson will undergo surgery in the coming days for a broken fibula tibia. I think I said that right. Ankle. After tests confirmed the injury per sources, outside chance he's back for a late playoff push, sources added, but his season very well could be over. This is a huge loss for Kansas City. When you talked about this Chiefs team entering 2024, the big question marks on this squad were the offensive line, the receivers, and the corners. As L'Jarius Sneed departed, the big question was who was going to step up. And we talked about on this channel how much Jaylen Watson had answered the call, how well he had been playing, that he was one of the best man coverage corners in all of football. So now the Chiefs cornerback room looks like this at the moment. Johnson starts at the left corner spot with Trent McDuffie on the other side. Connor at the nickelback spot, then Williams and Roland Wallace are your other two corners at this point in time. But we shall see if the Chiefs make any more changes of where they go from here. We'll go over our list of replacements in just a bit, but first, all week long in the lead up to Sunday's game against the Raiders, we are in a Super Chat battle with our Raiders channel. Mitchell Renz, the host of the Raiders Report, I mean, the guy is just a total fraud. And I got to tell you, I would love nothing more than to beat the Raiders Report in this sub-battle this week. We don't want to beat the Raiders just on the football field, but we want to beat them off the football field as well. Look, I've seen Raider fans and there are some pretty shady people, all right? We cannot be losing to those nasty Raider fans. Sub it up, sub for dubs. If you want to beat the Raiders, if you want Chiefs coverage all season long, you got to subscribe to the channel. Lock us in for free. YouTube.com/ChiefsTV. To subscribe now, you'll be glad you did. Let's start with Jonathan Jones of the New England Patriots. Jones at 31 years of age, and this is a guy that's a very versatile football player. In this circumstance that the Chiefs are under here, they got to do some figuring out, right? What are they going to do to make this secondary room complete? Do they need to move some pieces around? Luckily, a guy like Jonathan Jones, he can play outside. He can play nickel. He can even play some safety. You can plug him in, and he'll find a way to adapt accordingly. Undrafted out of Auburn in 2016, signed by the Patriots, was a part of 2 Super Bowl titles with the New England Patriots, so he's got some championship DNA in him, and a lot of experience in his career. 122 games played with 64 career starts. And you go back to 2022, that was a very strong campaign for Jones, as he had 4 interceptions that season. And as much as we love Trent McDuffie, believe me, I love me some Trent McDuffie. He's one of the best corners in football. But Trent McDuffie is not the guy you're looking for to grab interceptions, right? You need somebody else to potentially do that, to be your ball hawk type, if you will. Jonathan Jones potentially could come in and be that playmaker, could be a good complementary option to Trent McDuffie in that sense. Should the Chiefs trade for Jonathan Jones? It's our pinned comment today. Weigh in, let us know. Type T for trade, P for pass. If you would like to see Jonesy, another Jones, I love that name, in Kansas City, weigh in, let us know. Today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the place to go for daily fantasy made easy. Here's how it works. You choose 2 or more players at any given category. Get the choice of more or less, whether you're talking fantasy points in football, rebounds in basketball, goals in hockey, home runs in baseball, all sorts of different categories to choose from. And with Prize Picks, they got a great offer right now. When you play $5, they will give you $50 to spend for free. You don't have to win to get the money. It's a great offer that they are giving you at PrizePicks.com/SaleAtS, promo code SaleAtS. And with the start of the basketball season, I'm going with Anthony Edwards to have more than a half a point. I feel like that's an easy one. And then I got Karl Anthony Towns to have less than 21.5 points. If I put $20 down and this hits, that turns into $60 on Prize Picks. Play along with me, PrizePicks.com/SaleAtS, promo code SaleAtS. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Prize Picks, proud partner of the Chiefs Report. Glad to have them on board here on today's show. Next up, we turn our attention to Greg Newsome II. He's a player we've talked about a decent amount here on this channel. The Browns are collapsing, and it's quite hilarious, to be honest. As Deshaun Watson struggled, they already moved on from Amari Cooper. It is a full-on fire sale in Cleveland. And you look at Greg Newsome II, this is a guy that's got a ton of potential. He's played at a high level already in the National Football League, primarily used as a nickel corner. He could be a natural fit for this Kansas City Chiefs defense. More on Newsome, a 2021 first-round pick out of Northwestern, was an all-rookie team selection that season. And although he's very young, he's got plenty of experience to his resume. 48 career games played with 42 starts in his very young career. He's been outstanding for the Cleveland Browns to this point. I like what I've seen from Greg Newsome II. And you think about this Kansas City Chiefs team, this defense that they've assembled, a guy like Greg Newsome, I think, has got some untapped potential. When you look at the Kansas City Chiefs defense, this is a Chiefs defense that we've seen Spags really get the most out of, really pushes guys to the limit. And with McDuffie now on the outside, he could be kind of similar to what McDuffie used to be at the nickelback spot. I think he'd be a great fit. What do you guys think? If you had to pick one, would you rather trade for Jonathan Jones or would you rather trade for Greg Newsome II? Type JJ for Jonathan Jones. Type GN for Greg Newsome II. Get your predictions in now. Let us know which one you would like to trade for. Type JJ for Jonathan Jones. Type GN for Greg Newsome. Let him know in the comments section. Up next, let's talk J.C. Horn, the corner from the Carolina Panthers. He is the same age as Greg Newsome II, just 24 years old. And this is a guy that is a freak athlete. This guy just jumps out of a gym. He turns heads, athletically speaking. And he comes from an incredible football pedigree. You may remember his dad, the former Saints wide receiver Joe Horn. And that's not all. His brother, Joe Horn Jr., also a National Football League player as well. A first-round pick out of South Carolina by the Panthers. He's played in 29 career games with 29 starts. And that Panthers team, just so awful, right? This is another one where, similar to what we talked about with Greg Newsome, where I feel like he really just has, some unleashed potential that the Chiefs could potentially find here with J.C. Horn here. You look at the numbers of what J.C. Horn has done in his career. His best season, you go back to 2022 when he had 3 interceptions, 7 pass breakups. So far this year, he's already matched that pass breakup total to what he did in 2022 with 7 pass breakups, 1 pick, 32 tackles, 2 TFLs. Very good football player, J.C. Horn. Up next, we will go to one of the oldest players on our list, and that is Darius Slay Jr. of the Philadelphia Eagles. And Darius Slay Jr. at 33 years of age, lots of experience. He was on the Eagles Super Bowl team a few years ago against the Kansas City Chiefs. And when you look at these midseason trades of what goes on, these midseason trades, you're looking for guys that are ready to jump in right away. And this is somebody that I think could be built for this type of situation for Kansas City of the hand they're dealt right now. You look at Slay's resume, was the NFL interceptions co-leader in 2017, and that was his best season as he was a first-team All-Pro that season, 6-time Pro Bowler. He is going to have a case to potentially be a Hall of Famer someday. Began his career with the Lions and then went to Philadelphia shortly there after that. And you look at his statistics of what Darius Slay has done. I mean, he's been very consistent. I think that, this Eagles team, they got some young talent, right? With Cooper DeJean and among others there. It's a crowded corner room, and I think they're potentially looking to move on from Slay, and this could be a natural fit for what the Kansas City Chiefs need right now with what he's shown he's able to do and still play at a high level despite being 33 years old. I got one more name that we'll talk about in a moment, but first, name a corner the Chiefs should add. Who comes to mind that you would like to see on this Kansas City Chiefs team? Weigh in. Let us know who you think that is. Last on our list, the only free agent we're talking about today, that is Patrick Peterson. Patrick Peterson, 34 years old, and this is somebody that is a future Hall of Famer in the National Football League. But the question becomes, how much does he have left? Because last year when he was with the Pittsburgh Steelers, let's just put it this way. Things did not go great for Patrick Peterson last year. Was with the Steelers, was with the Vikings and the Cardinals before that, a 3-time first-team All-Pro, an 8-time Pro Bowler, part of the NFL's All-Decade team. Nobody on this list is going to have a better resume than what Patrick Peterson has done over the years. But is he too old? You look at these statistics, and you go back to 2022, just a couple of years ago, had 5 interceptions and 15 pass breakups. Last year, there was a lot of criticism for Patrick Peterson by how much he got beat in coverage, but he still managed to have 11 pass breakups and 2 interceptions there. So it's a possibility, and you could probably get him pretty cheap compared to some of the other players out there. For continuing Kansas City Chiefs coverage, subscribe now to the Chiefs Report. We got you covered each and every day on the channel. I'm Tyler Jones. We will see you next time. All right.
Yeah, sorry about that. Mid-show, we had someone move over our player listicles because why wouldn't that happen? So appreciate you working with me there. And
Patrick Seatman there?
Yeah, he came in, ran, and it was like, my bad, bro. He's like, what are you guys live on? And then moved it back over. So, yeah, and that sucked.
Did you not see the light off?
I have the light with me. Yeah, it's like, just look next time, you know?
Like, Patrick Seatman, you got to be more organized than that, man.
Come on, bro.
I mean, that's just pathetic. I mean, just really. Like, it's unacceptable.
Appreciate you working with me on that, though.
Yeah. We'll get that graphic in post. Yeah, goodness. That could have been a lot worse. Who is a corner the Chiefs should add? Who are some names that come to mind? I'm seeing some Greg Newsome's in there. I'm seeing some Jonathan Jones in there. Who else? Who else comes to mind that you would like to see the Chiefs potentially add on that front? Ty-Man the Buckeye is saying Newsome is staying in Cleveland. Ty-Man, tell me this then. Why did the Browns get rid of Amari Cooper? If they got rid of Amari Cooper, why is everybody else not up for sale? Why would then, based on your logic, would they not move on from Greg Newsome or Myles Garrett and just sell the whole farm? Why would they not do that if they already moved on from their best receiver? That would be my response. So we'll see. Anthony says Marcus Peters. Please no. No, we're not doing the Marcus Peters experiment again. I'll tell you right now, no way. No way on Marcus Peters. Wayne says Xavier Howard. Xavier Howard's got some legal issues to deal with and some pretty scary stuff. I'm not interested in Xavier Howard until he clears some of that stuff up. Yeah, no, we're not doing that. Super chat menu. If you'd like to send us a super chat, I'm still waiting. I'm waiting patiently to see who will send the first super chat of the day. First time super chat is to get the KC chant. $5 super chat, we'll do the Mahomes song. $10 super chat, we'll take some shots. $20 super chat, do the spicy jelly bean. $50 super chat, we'll do a beer bong. So stay tuned for that. If we get a super chat, then we'll go crazy and we'll pay off accordingly. So dollar sign next to the chat box if you'd like to contribute and make that happen here on today's show. Up next, we'll do the Chiefs and Raiders preview. We'll go over my keys to victory. We'll break down the injury report, and we'll go over all that. So stay tuned and give you my prediction. And then we'll do a Q&A mailbag as well. Use hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat to get on that mailbag portion of the show. I know we could use some more questions. I definitely need some more questions for that mailbag segment we'll be doing later. Terrence, Scott, Danny, Tony, get those questions in. Get those questions in for that mailbag segment that we'll be doing coming up later. So stay tuned for that. Tony says he got his questions in. Thank you, Tony, for that. Ty-Man, Dan, Paul, get Cole. Get those questions in. Nathan, same with you. Hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat. I want to answer your questions, but I got to get them first. I got to get you guys to use hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat for the mailbag segment. Up next, Chiefs and Raiders preview. Let's discuss that, and we will get going from there. So that we're just about halfway home. 2 more segments to go, and then we'll call it a day. So stay tuned as we continue with our live edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Jonesy and Big Tex here with you. Thanks for joining us. Let's go ahead and get started. There we go. Paul's got a question. L'Jarius Sneed. I got an interesting answer I'll give you when we get to that. So here we go. Ty-Man, are you saying Amari Cooper's not a good player? They traded him. I'm just saying. Gabe, those are good questions. Why didn't you use hashtag Chiefs? Put it in the mailbag. Put it in the mailbag. I don't know how many times I have to tell you. It's very simple. All right, here we go. Game time. We'll tell you about this matchup. Chiefs and Raiders. Our game preview begins right now. It is Week 8 in the National Football League. Your Kansas City Chiefs set to take on the Las Vegas Raiders in an AFC West showdown. The Chiefs are the only unbeaten remaining in the National Football League. Can they keep the momentum going as they take on this Raiders team at Arrowhead West? The last time the Chiefs were in this building, it was a pretty good moment back in February. Can they win again? The Chiefs are favored by 10. The over-under set at 41.5 for this matchup. On today's show, I'll go over my keys to victory. We'll also break down the injury report. I'll give you my prediction as well in just a bit. Patrick Mahomes, he has been the Raiders' daddy over the years, a 10-2 record all time, although the most recent matchup with the Las Vegas Raiders, it was a not-so-merry Christmas for the Chiefs as they lost at home to Las Vegas last season. So the Chiefs come in a little bit hungry. Remember, back in the offseason, the Raiders were clowning Mahomes a bit with that Kermit the Frog, with the Mahomes jersey and everything and the hair. I think Mahomes is well aware of that. I think he's going to come in a bit hungry for this one, despite how bad the Raiders are. It's still a rivalry matchup. If you're ready for Chiefs game day, spam C in the comments section. I want to see as many C's as we can to show some love for your Kansas City Chiefs. I want to see at least 300. If you're ready for Chiefs football, if you're ready for a Chiefs win, get those C's in the comments section, and we'll get going here on today's show. Let's begin with the injury report for the Chiefs. This is as of our Tuesday live show. Jaylen Watson is out with a lower leg injury. His season could be done. Juju Smith-Schuster with a hamstring injury. He is also out. Well, Mike Dana is questionable with that pec injury that's kept him out the last couple of weeks. Meanwhile, the Raiders are very shorthanded themselves. Jacoby Myers at the wide receiver position, he is questionable with an ankle, while Dylan Parham with a foot injury is questionable at the offensive guard spot. The quarterback, Aiden O'Connell, is doubtful with a thumb injury, and so they have brought in Desmond Ridder as a potential option in his place. And then some other injuries include McGaw, the linebacker with a knee injury. He's questionable. Tommy Eichenberg with a quad injury. He's questionable. And then their tight end, Harrison Bryant, with an elbow injury. He is questionable as well. So what's it going to take to defeat the Las Vegas Raiders this week? Well, it starts with their best player, Max Crosby. I got to tell you, as much as I can't stand the Las Vegas Raiders, I respect the hell out of Max Crosby. This is one of the best players in all of football, and he is off to a great start to 2024. He already has 6.5 sacks, 3 pass breakups, 11 QB hits, and 10 tackles for loss. If you're the Kansas City Chiefs, you might have to double team him. You might have to triple team him. You got to do whatever you can to take away Max Crosby and minimize his impact. Crosby, over the years, has had 21 tackles and 5 sacks in his games against Kansas City. They've done a pretty decent job for slowing him down for the most part over the years. They're going to need to do so again here on Sunday. Who do you got? You going with the Chiefs or are you going with the Raiders? Type KC for Chiefs. Type LV for Las Vegas Raiders. Get your predictions in now and let us know what you think of this matchup. There's no watch party. Folks, want to make sure you subscribe to the Chiefs Report as we're bringing you constant coverage of your Kansas City Chiefs, our daily news and rumors. We have live shows. We're also bringing you Q&A mailbags, breaking news, and more. It's all right here on the Chiefs Report. Sub it up. If you want to stay up to date with the latest happenings on your favorite team, we got you covered each and every day on the channel. Subscribe now. You'll be glad you did. Number 2 on our keys to victory for the Kansas City Chiefs is pounding the rock. Run the damn football. Look, I know the Chiefs have had their concerns when it comes to the wide receivers and who's healthy. But one thing, as I'll continue to reiterate on this program, if the Chiefs continue to run the football well and play great defense, that's championship DNA. They're going to be in good shape. And you look at Kareem Hunt, who has been very good for Kansas City since rejoining this team. I think that they're going to need to use him and get the most out of him. He's had 2 touchdowns against the Niners. He's rushed for over 240 yards so far this year. He's also been pretty decent in the receiving game as well with 5 catches for 36 yards. more of Kareem Hunt, more of Carson Steele, and the other running backs. It's going to start with the run game to open up the passing game. Kareem Hunt had this to say this week on his strong start to 2024. Definitely get more comfortable each week. I love hearing that. I demand myself to get better and better, and I give it to the O-line for the help they are getting, the pushes to get in there. So hopefully his demands become reality as far as that goes with getting better there. Next up, let's talk about Patrick Mahomes. Will the real Patrick Mahomes please stand up? Patrick Mahomes, if we're going to be honest with you, statistically speaking, has not looked that great. But the stats don't tell the full story, as Patrick Mahomes is still finding ways to win football games. And I hate this argument that we've heard from the mainstream media that's trying to tell us that the Chiefs are winning in spite of Patrick Mahomes. No. That ain't true. That's a bunch of BS. Patrick Mahomes, with the circumstances that he's been given, he is still making the most out of what he can. And maybe he's overworking it, trying to make too many plays, and that's why it's led to 8 interceptions to this point in time. But I want to see. I think this is the right week for Patrick Mahomes to have that big game where we say to ourselves, yeah, that's the Patrick Mahomes we know and love. And Patrick is well aware that he's got work to do. He said this past week on taking that next step. Now it's about cleaning up the turnovers. I think we can do that. We can start hitting our stride. And that's one of the silver linings, I think, when you look to this week and beyond, is that this team is the only undefeated in the NFL, and they're far from perfect. They have a lot of work to do, and I think this is the week that can be the start of getting momentum their direction and playing their best football. Who will be the Chiefs MVP against the Raiders? Will it be Patrick Mahomes? Will it be Kareem Hunt? Will it be somebody else? Get your predictions in now, who you think that MVP is going to be. Got a great deal we're offering Chiefs fans right now. Xavier Worthy jerseys are on sale. He is worthy at chatsports.com/worthy. We got the home jersey. We got the road jersey. We got free shipping available as well. Go see for yourself. chatsports.com/worthy. Got men's and women's sizes available. All sorts of different Xavier Worthy's jerseys to choose from. And you can see our other Chiefs items that we're selling as well. Go to chatsports.com/worthy to get yours today. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Now, one thing that I tell y'all a lot and that I love to remind you from time to time is you don't want to be in the friend zone. You want to get to the end zone. And red zone scoring has been one of the Achilles heels for this Kansas City Chiefs team so far in 2024. There's too many times where we've seen this team have to settle for those Harrison Butker field goal attempts. I love me some Harrison Butker, but I want to see less of Harrison Butker. Finish the drives, finish in the red zone. The Chiefs' red zone scoring touchdown rate is close to 48%. That's towards the bottom of the NFL, 25th best. And we talk about this being a get-right game for Kansas City, to really polish some things and to put their best foot forward from here. Think about this. The Raiders' red zone touchdown scoring percentage is currently 60%. That's 21st best in the NFL. If there was ever a time for the Chiefs to get going, to get this right, this is a team to take advantage and capitalize on to do just that. You got Travis Kelce, use him. You got Kareem Hunt, use him. Go take advantage in the red zone of those mismatches and capitalize. Don't settle for 3. Go get those 7 points. Last on our keys to victory, it's McDuffie time. Trent McDuffie, arguably the best corner in football. He is now finds himself with quite the tall task with the way this cornerback room is shaping up. With not having Jaylen Watson, he was already asked to do more with no L'Jarius Sneed, with him in Tennessee now. And Trent McDuffie, his play's been very solid this year, but now he's got to step up even further. So far this season, McDuffie has accounted for 22 tackles, 2 TFLs, 4 pass breakups, Still looking for that first career interception and 2 QB hits, but he's doing a lot that the stats don't show. If you take it even a step further and look at his coverage stats, he's only allowing a quarterback rating of 68.2. Has only given up 152 yards and a completion percentage of less than 55%. I want to see Trent McDuffie continue to evolve and grow into his role. His PFF grades are fantastic, too. They're in the 70s or above in every category. Trent McDuffie, with not having, Jaylen Watson there, he's going to have to do more, and I think you'll be impressed with what Trent McDuffie does. If you hate the Raiders, I need you to do one thing. All my homies, they hate the Las Vegas Raiders. Spam FLV in the comments section. We don't like the Raiders. We don't like Las Vegas. Actually, I do like Las Vegas, but they're not worthy of Las Vegas. Spam FLV. I want to see at least 100 FLVs in the comments section and really stick it to the Raiders. To recap, our keys to a Chiefs victory containing Max Crosby. He's going to be their best player. Got to do what you can to limit his production. Pound the rock. Run the football. You got a really good run game. Use it. The real Patrick Mahomes, please stand up. I want to see Patrick Mahomes turn a corner and be the best version of himself. Red zone scoring. Got to capitalize. Got to take advantage of the opportunities there in the red zone. Don't just settle for 3. Go get those touchdowns. And Trent McDuffie, going to need you to step up with no Jaylen Watson there. If the Chiefs do all these things, there's no reason why this game should be close. I like the Chiefs. I like the Chiefs big on the road. 31-13, the final, and the Chiefs keep the undefeated season alive. If you're ready for a Chiefs win this Sunday, spam W in the comments section. I want to see all the W's for a Chiefs win. Get those in there, and we'll see you next time right here on the Chiefs Report. All right. Final segment coming up next. We'll do our mailbag. I did see a super chat come in. We'll get to that. So stay tuned for that. Get your predictions in now. You got the Chiefs, or are you going with the Raiders? Type KC for Chiefs. Type LV for Las Vegas Raiders. And let us know who you got. Gabe with a $20 super chat. Let's go, Gabe. Gabe says, feeling generous since I was there in San Fran. Hopefully you had a great time, Gabe, coming back home with that W. That's great to see. We left a powerful tomahawk chop ringing through Levi's. Chiefs Kingdom, baby. I love it, Gabe. Gabe, I'll give you a choice. Do you want Tex and I to take shots, or do you want the spicy jelly bean? It is your decision. Let us know which one you would like us to do, and we'll do that at the end of the show after this segment. Gabe, we will include that. We'll lead off the mailbag with your super chat. Thanks for sending that in and being a part of the show. If you want to be like Gabe and send in a super chat and also lead off the mailbag segment, you can super chat us, $ next to the chat box. Gabe chooses shots. Here is what we're offering today. First-time super chatter, we'll get the KC chant. $5 super chat, we'll do the Mahomes song. $10 super chat, some shots. $20, we'll get Bean Boozled with the spicy jelly bean. $50 super chat, we'll get the beer bong. Tony, your question is in there. Do we need some more questions? Yeah. I think we could use some more questions. Give me 2 more questions. I'm putting 2 minutes on the clock. I need 2 more questions in the next 2 minutes, and then we'll start this final segment before we get out of here and call it a day. So, hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat to get on the mailbag portion of the show, and then we'll wrap up and call it a day here on this Tuesday afternoon. And we will have more Chiefs coverage throughout the week here on the channel, as we'll have daily news and rumors. We got, anytime there's breaking news, if something happens, then we're going to bring you a video on the channel. Even if I'm not working, even if I'm at home and something happens, then we'll react to it and get you a video here. So even when we get done with this live show, we're going to have content on the channel. So be on the lookout for that as we're done with this. We'll have that for you coming up in just a bit. Yes, let me look here. Yep. Cool. It's all good. All good. Cool.
Hey, Tony, I know you got kind of upset that we didn't answer your question last time. Is it the one about MVS? If it is, I see it in there, and we can hit that one. But I just don't know which question you're talking about because you have multiple in here.
Yeah, Tony, you got multiple questions.
So I don't know which one you want me to prioritize here.
Which question do you prefer us to get to, Tony? I still need some more questions to the mailbag. Why do you guys make me wait like this? Why do you make me wait? The second one, he says. Like, Joe, you're bringing up D-Hop. Use hashtag Chiefs. Include that in the mailbag. Stop making me wait around.
So the one on Sky Moore, Tony? Is that what you mean?
I think that's what he's talking about. Yeah. Quit making me wait around. Get your questions in, and let's wrap this up so we can get out of here because I got more work to do. Use hashtag Chiefs. There we go. Paul's got a question. That's one. Give me one more. Hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat to get on the mailbag. I said I needed 2 questions. I was giving you 2 minutes. I only got 1. I don't know why you guys make me wait like this. And if you send in a Super Chat, that'll get priority for the mailbag. So stay tuned for that. Need 1 more. Tony's got the right idea. He says, come on. Come on now, folks. There we go. Nathan, thank you, Nathan. Appreciate it. All right, now, without further ado, let's get started with our mailbag segment, and then we'll wrap up after that. So let's go ahead and get started. Our mailbag begins here on this live edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Jonesy and Big Tex here with you. Final segment begins right now. It is mailbag time here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. So much to discuss about your undefeated Kansas City Chiefs as we're talking potential trade rumors. We are also looking ahead to this weekend's game against the Raiders. All sorts of stuff that you guys have questions on. We're going to answer them. This comes from our Tuesday live show where you guys submit questions to us in real time. We react to them. And you may be saying to yourself, man, I would love to be a part of your next mailbag show. How can I do so? Well, guess what? If you subscribe and turn on notifications, you can be a part of what we call the Noti Gang. Those are the folks that have their notifications turned on. That way they're the first to know when we have new content on the channel, whether it's a live show, breaking news, a mailbag. Make sure you're subscribed and have those notifications turned on. If you're part of the Noti Gang, spam Noti Gang in the comments section. Would love to hear from you, and we'll get going here on today's show. Let's start with a $20 super chat from Gabe. Gabe wants to know, he says, feeling generous since I was there in San Fran. We appreciate the generosity, Gabe. Salute to you. We left a powerful tomahawk chop ringing through Levi's Chiefs Kingdom, baby. Love to see it, Gabe. Great to see you representing out in Cali. Hope you had a great time there in Northern California. Hopefully you got some good wine and cheering on the Chiefs' victory. Good to see. Thanks for checking in and sending that super chat. Casey Kingdom writes in, could the Chiefs trade for Robert Woods? So Robert Woods has been a bit of a journeyman, playing for teams like the Rams, most recently the Houston Texans, was with the Titans for a little bit as well. And he's been a decent receiver over the years, but he has not done much this season with the Houston Texans, as the Texans' offense has kind of phased him out, as he's only had 3 catches for 28 yards, just over 9 yards of reception in those 3 catches. But you better believe if he came to Kansas City, he would not be getting phased out. He would serve a very critical, very important role for this Chiefs team that at this rate, with no Juju, no Hollywood Brown, no Rashee Rice, they'd take anybody right now. I don't think you'd have to give up a ton for Robert Woods. I think the Texans are very, very likely to move on from Robert Woods. I don't know if they want to trade with the Chiefs. I think that's your big obstacle, however you want to say it, in trading for Robert Woods is, do the Texans actually want to help you? Because I do think he'd actually help out this Chiefs team, even though he's not helping out the Texans much. But, yeah, give up a 6th or 7th round pick. I don't see why not. You want to bring in Robert Woods. Let us know on our pinned comment today. Should the Chiefs trade for Robert Woods? Type T for trade, P for pass. Chime in and let us know if you think they should. Tony writes in. Tony was really wanting on the mailbag today. I'm glad that Tony got in. Tony from El Paso. Hopefully you're staying away from the cartels, Tony. Well, Chiefs bench Sky Moore. Look like Sky Moore, but he hasn't done much Chiefs any favors. I wish he can do better, Tyler, but it's the same result every time Moore out there. Oh, man. Tony, you're not wrong. Sky Moore, it's painful. And here's the saddest part about the Sky Moore experience, the Sky Moore experiment, is that there have been plenty of opportunities for Sky Moore to prove himself and to be a big factor in this Chiefs offense. When you look at the Chiefs receiver room, the cupboards are bare, right? We mentioned the injuries, how things have piled up. And for those guys that are under the radar like Sky Moore, this should be the golden opportunity for you to step up. If you can't play well, if you can't thrive in this Chiefs offense as is right now, it ain't happening anywhere else. Sky Moore has proven to be a bad football player. That's the reality of it. And I wish that wasn't the case. The Chiefs have given him plenty of opportunities to succeed, and he keeps falling right on his ass. So I hate it, but that's just where the Chiefs are at right now. Nathan writes in, who are your logical wide receivers the Chiefs will target before or during the trade deadline? We mentioned Robert Woods earlier. I think DeAndre Hopkins is another possibility. Deontay Johnson, I think, is another idea as well. I could see Demarcus Robinson potentially coming back. Those are the names that come to mind. You already missed out on Amari Cooper. You weren't going to bring in Devontae Adams. But the good news is for Kansas City that if they do want to make a trade for a wide receiver, there are plenty of guys available still with weeks till the deadline at this point in time. Thanks, Nathan. Chiefs Rule writes in, would it make sense for a trade for Jadeveon Clowney? So I look at Clowney, and this is somebody that's got a lot of talent, right? Former number 1 overall pick out of South Carolina. I still remember the great play that he had at South Carolina when he blew up Michigan, and that led to him being number 1 overall. One of the greatest college football plays I've ever seen. And his NFL career has been pretty solid. Maybe not number 1 pick worthy, but he's been a Pro Bowler. He's played at a high level. And the thing with Clowney at this point in his career is that what any team, I think, would be asking for realistically out of Clowney at this point is just to be a pass rusher. Clowney at this point in his career, you don't need him to drop back in coverage. You don't need him out there to stop the run. You just need him to get after the quarterback. And he did a good job of that in Baltimore and Mike McDonald's defense. McDonald now is out in Seattle as their head coach. But last year, he had kind of a career resurgence with 9.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. This year, not doing so hot in Carolina, only 1 sack this season. But I don't think it would cost you a ton. His salary isn't a lot. It's very doable. I like the idea of Clowney. You can't have too many pass rushers, but I do think the Chiefs have bigger needs. What the Chiefs really need is they need Karlaftis and King Felix to step up and do more of their part. That would be the better solution. But if you can't get more out of those guys, then maybe you make a move for Clowney potentially. Should the Chiefs trade for Jadeveon Clowney? Your chance to be Brett Veach. Type Y for yes, N for no. Weigh in, let us know if you would trade for Jadeveon Clowney. One player that will not be traded is Xavier Worthy. Xavier Worthy, his jerseys are on sale now, chatsports.com/Worthy. Got the home jersey, got the road jersey, got men's and women's options, and free shipping also available as well. Go see for yourself, chatsports.com/Worthy. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Go get yours today, chatsports.com/Worthy. All right, got time for a couple more questions. Let's start with Gabe. Gabe writes in, what will happen if and when Pacheco returns with all the running backs? What do you think of Andy's trick plays like the double QB and double running back at San Fran? I love the creativity. Andy is the best at getting the most out of the playbook. I don't know how many people know this, but in that playbook that Andy has, it's so thick They have plays that were run by Vince Lombardi in the 1960s in that playbook. I mean, you talk about creativity. Nobody does it like Andy Reid, and you better believe he's got more tricks up his sleeve that we'll see later in the season. Now, as far as the running back situation goes, Kareem Hunt is not taking Isaiah Pacheco's job away from him. Pacheco's a top 10 back, maybe a top 5 back in the NFL, and he was looking pretty dang good before he got hurt. When he fully recovers, the offense is going to run through Isaiah Pacheco. He is going to get the majority of the carries. Kareem Hunt will go to be your number 2 back. They'll use him in short yardage, and you'll have a good thing going. You'll have depth at the running back position you didn't have previously. So when Pacheco gets back, it's going to be looking pretty good for this Chiefs offense there. Nathan writes in, send a third to Cleveland for Greg Newsome or a third to Carolina for Horn. For the love of God, restructure Jawan Taylor or trade him. Let's start with the Jawan Taylor end of things. Jawan Taylor's been terrible this year. His PFF grades are atrocious. On top of that, he gets called for more penalties than anyone in football. I am so sick and tired of Jawan Taylor. Believe me, I hear you on that. But with his contract, it's a bad contract. I don't know how much he's going to want to work with you on that. As far as the 2 corner options, I think I'd prefer Newsome over Horn, but they're both good football players. And you look at the corner situation for Kansas City without Jaylen Watson there, I think either one of these guys you'd feel a lot more comfortable with this Chiefs corner room. And you go back to that first Super Bowl, the Chiefs did not have a very good corner room. And they prioritized their pass rush to open up things for the corner room and made life a lot easier. I think that's going to be kind of a renewed focus again. Like, hey, we got McDuffie in that corner room, and McDuffie's great. But we need the pass rush to do more of its part to make life easier on the corners. Last question, Paul says Hunter Renfrow. No. Hunter Renfrow's cooked. He's washed. He can't stay healthy. I understand looking for receiver help, but that ain't it. It's an interesting idea, Paul. Thanks for joining us here on the Chiefs Report. For continuing Chiefs coverage, subscribe it now for free. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. All right. Before we go, we got some shots to do. I'll go get the bottle of shots. Hopefully you didn't say that on air. Yeah. I'll go get some shots. Super chat menu, you guys talk to Tex. Tex will hold things down for a bit. Feel free. Whatever you want to talk to Tex about, whether it's the Chiefs or if you want to solve the world's problems, he'll do it all for you. Tex takes over for a moment. I'll be right back, and we'll have some shots before we go.
What is up, Chiefs Kingdom? Appreciate you guys sticking around with us through fourth. Oh, yes. Sorry. Those are our keys to victory. Those are awesome to see as well from Tyler's perspective. But this is our Super Chat menu. Thank you, Tyler. Yeah, appreciate you guys sticking around, though, for our entire live show. This is our Super Chat menu. First-time Super Chatters get the KC chant. $5, you get the Mahomes song. $10, you get shots, which Tyler is actually going to get some shots created right now because of Gabe, who sent in a very generous donation of $20. But $10 is shots, $20 is spicy jelly bean, or we'll do shots as well. Because, to be honest, the spicy jelly bean is absolute mouth destruction. It's awful. I've done it before. It's awful. Please don't make me do that. And then $50 is a beer bomb. So that's our Super Chat menu. Only one that sent in a Super Chat today is Gabe. Gabe's a real one, for sure. But that is our Super Chat menu, and I really appreciate everyone who's shown support, liked, subbed, joined us today. But yeah, Gabe is our only current Super Chatter. So if you guys want to be like Gabe and get on the show, just send in a Super Chat.
Tex, you want to take the first shot? You're on screen already.
I gotcha. I'll take the first shot. I gotcha. From the bottle. L'Haim.
There we go. Going to the Patron zone. Very nice.
Thank you. There you go, bro.
I'll take the next shot, and then we'll sign off.
Cool. Let me pop you up real quick.
Gabe, thanks for buying us some shots. I needed a drink today. I can tell you that much. We don't do enough drinking around here. We could change that, though. Paul, cheers to you. Gabe, cheers to you. Ty Man, Tony, everybody for being here. Go Chiefs. There we go. On that note, we'll sign off. Appreciate you guys joining us. Continuing coverage on the channel all week long for Big Tex. I'm Tyler Jones. Have a great rest of your night. We'll see you next time.